what are your favorite tools, companies, services that are privacy focused and that really help people control their data? For example, there are some companies that prioritize file over platform, others that focus on end-to-end encryption. And you mentioned that, for example, when setting up your companies, it's really important to also set it up with service providers who share the same ethos of sovereignty in the end. So what are your recommendations or favorite company services tools?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and it depends on exactly what you're trying to do. I tell most people that the biggest, easiest privacy improvement that you can do is to just install ad blockers in your browser, and it doesn't cost you anything. It takes only a couple of minutes, and that will stop a lot of the corporate surveillance that just sort of happens in the background as you are going about your life and browsing the internet. Beyond that, one service that I like for payments, because cash is not always an option, especially if you're trying to do internet commerce. Big fan of privacy.com, and they essentially allow you to create as many throwaway virtual debit cards as you want. And the cool thing with these debit cards is as long as you put in the right number, expiration date, and CVC code, you can put in any name and any address that you want, which is very helpful, especially if you're buying digital goods or services where you're not physically having something shipped to you. If you are having something physically shipped to you, then there are services that I recommend that are basically like private mailboxes. And whether that's something like Earth Class Mail, which is one of the bigger ones, or in many cases, you can find smaller local shops that will just let you rent a little box for like $20 or $30 a month. So that once again, you're not putting your actual address out there. This gets a bit more paranoid, but I do think that people should probably be running VPNs all of the time. And going down the VPN rabbit hole is really tricky because unless you're running your own VPN, which I have written about and is beyond the reach, I think, of most people, then you're trusting a third party and you don't necessarily know what that VPN is doing. So the best that I can really offer on the VPN side is I would recommend using one that doesn't require any personal information to sign up in the first place, because obviously whatever information you give to the VPN provider, they can then use to basically know who you are. And if they're keeping logs, because you never know if they are, even if they claim they're not, and government comes in and asks them for your information, the only way to ever be sure that your information's not going to get shared is to not give it away in the first place. So, for example, I like Mullvad because you can pay them in Monero or other crypto anonymously and not give them an email address or anything, and they just give you a code that you can plug in, and it just works and it's fast.
Yeah, they're really cool. You really see that they care about your privacy because they just give you a code, and you really see that they don't store any personal identifiable information.